We are now ready. May I have your attention, please? If you have not done so at this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers, and please sign in. Thank you.
Good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, March 7th, 2018, and the time is 10:01 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Shahardi.
Here.
Commissioner Wagsback.
Yes, here.
Commissioner West.
Present.
Commissioner Vercher.
Here.
Commissioner Wood.
Here.
5 present and a quorum.
Thank you. There being no old business to take up at this time, I'll accept a motion for the approval of the minutes of the February 28th, 2018 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagsback was absent. Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Here.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes.
Yes.
We will now consider the approval of the third amended 2017 tax roll for Sabine Parish.
Good morning. Phyllis King, Assistant Director, Louisiana Tax Commission. Provided you with a little spreadsheet that shows the differences that have been made on the Sabine Parish tax rolls. Today's the third one. That will be your second page. If you have any questions on the others, I'll be glad to answer what I can. But you'll see that highlighted at the top there on the second page shows that the correction is highlighted in yellow for the Zwali, the Negrete, and the Many bonds. And these are the correct numbers for these bonds. And that was one of the reasons for this one is they'd sent in the incorrect bond, and the legislative auditor noticed that these were incorrect. And going over the corrected report that they sent in for this one, we noticed some changes that were in the values, and those are outlined on the underneath that under oil and gas service equipment and oil and gas wells. They had corrected on the second one due to obsolescence, but I noticed that on the oil and gas equipment they brought those numbers back up. According to the programmer, change orders were done to make corrections, therefore they did not need to go in and make these corrections here. Therefore they picked up the correct number to begin with. They put them back to the $4,661,994. On the second one, the oil and gas wells, they did have some obsolescence that is accounted for in this number. That is supposed to be the correct number. Evidently, it was picked up 26,570 less on the previous report, and is accounted for in this report. So therefore, these are the changes that are being made in this particular report, and staff recommends approval.
Should that obsolescence be handled as a change order, or being that you're amending the roll, they're okay to go ahead and correct it?
I think they probably could have, according to them. I mean, if they go back and change it here, that's changing them twice.
Well, I guess my question is the legislative auditor going to have another problem with this once this is sent to them? Because I'm sure they're going to have to review this after we approve it, correct?
They will do that, and speaking to Ms. Garrison at the legislative auditor's office, of course, they don't deal with change orders whatsoever, and it will make a difference in some of the numbers, but they will not deal with that whatsoever. They're dealing strictly with what's on the tax roll at that particular date.
But this third amended tax roll, has it been approved by the legislative auditor with regard, because I mean, all the auditor really looks at is the millages, right?
Yes, she looks at the millages,
And so this
This millage-
this revised
what happened,
millage is correct as far as the audit is
what's
concerned?
highlighted in the yellow
Is the correct millage.
is the correct number, and I
And
have.
this has been, and that millage has been approved by the legislative auditor.
That has been approved by her. In fact, it was on the first amended, that's what they came back and changed, was those millages. When they came back with a second one for the obsolescence, they picked up the old millage,
I see.
and that's what she was actually catching. But this is the number that these are
From
the
the auditor.
numbers that she's looking for, the 12.8,
Right.
the 11.26, and the 30.25.
And that's
Those
what the
have
auditor
actually-
has,
Yes,
it's before us because this third amended tax roll has been approved by all parties. I mean, it's submitted by the assessor, it's been
Yes.
approved by the legislative auditor, and now it's coming for us to amend the tax roll.
yes, and she can't make, once we certify, that's the numbers that she uses. And when she noticed the other one was incorrect,
She noticed
she
the
needed,
millages were
she
incorrect.
needed something from us that says this is the certified number. She can't arbitrarily just go do it because they said it's incorrect. And
Who
just
can't?
the legislative auditor,
That's not been my experience with the auditor.
that she
My
can't,
experience
doesn't
with-
arbitrarily.
My experience with the auditor is they check the millages, and if they have a question about the millages, they say something.
They do,
And
and
you have
that
to
is.
resolve it, and
that
that's
is
before
correct.
filing the tax roll with the commission.
Yeah, in fact, the letters that we get are saying we've approved those millages.
Okay.
But on the tax roll, they put the incorrect millages. So she
so
needs to
one millage got
report.
approved by the auditor, but the millage that was applied on the tax roll was different.
That's correct. And so therefore, she needs it on the certified tax roll, the correct number that they approved.
Right.
The correct millage that they approved.
That's right.
And so the assessor is now correcting the tax roll to reflect the correct millage.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And the millage that he's using is the correct millage that the legislative auditor said is supposed to be on the tax roll.
That's correct. There's these 12.8, 11.26, and 30.25.
Are the millages that the auditor
Those are the
says
ones that
should
she
be on
says
the
are
tax roll.
correct.
But when the assessor did the tax roll, he used a different millage.
That's correct.
They didn't change it in their system or whatever.
Well, he did change it on the original tax roll.
Nobody's changing it back now.
Yeah. He made a
Well-
mistake
Okay.
the second time.
Well, actually, on the original,
It was
they did
incorrect.
not have it
Right.
correct. The first one they did, but when they brought in the one, in fact, the comments from the program was just disregard last time. I says, well, you can't just disregard, we've already certified it and sent it in there. We need one that will have that exact number, those exact millages with our signed commission members, signatures.
So, first time was the wrong millage. Second time, the millage was corrected. But then they came back with a second amendment using the first millage, which is incorrect.
And
So now we're having to go
also,
back a
and-
third time and amend the roll to get
and it
back to the.
also applies some obsolescence. And that's why
They really-
the
they really
number
should-
is incorrect.
Really should not be doing the obsolescence like that. It really shouldn't be changing the roll like that. They should be doing that by
Right.
changing it. But anyway. All right, is there any more questions? We have a motion to approve the third amended 2017 tax roll for Sabine Parish. Or do we not want to approve it at this time?
Gunshot.
Which is also fine.
I would move that we approve the third amended 2017 tax roll for Sabine Parish as submitted by staff.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagasback.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. Hopefully this is the last time we'll hear about Sabine Parish until next year.
Next time.
Until later
Till
on.
November.
This year's tax roll. All right, I'm going to ask anybody who is planning on testifying this morning at the table to please come forward and be sworn in as a witness.
That's it. I'll administer the oath to both of you all at the same time. After I do, you'll put the microphones. Affirm the oath, stating I do, and state your name for the record. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Reed Huval.
I do, Brian Fontenot. Thank you all.
It is the Tax Commission's policy to accept all documents into the record that were timely pre-filed in accordance with the Commission's rules and regulations. This will be done at the conclusion of all hearings on today's docket. Accordingly, there is no need to formally offer or introduce the exhibits into the records during your appeal hearing. However, if you intend to object to the submission of any of the opposing parties' exhibits, you must notify the Commission at the start of your appeal hearing. As a reminder, this is an administrative hearing, and as such, the rules of evidence are relaxed. The Commission is inclined to review and consider all evidence submitted and to accept such evidence into the record. First matter on the docket this morning is the appeal of Carol James Doucette versus the Lafayette Parish Board of Review, docket number 17-22055-008. All right, this is a taxpayer appeal. I've been told that the taxpayer will not be here this morning, and I'm assuming that's correct. The taxpayer is not here. The taxpayer did send the Commission a letter explaining the situation with regard to this property, and as well as some other paperwork, and that will be made part of the record at the end of today's hearings. I'll ask the assessor's office to please go ahead and tell us what they're looking for and to tell us what they're asking for.
Thank you. My name is Brian Fontenot, Assistant Chief Deputy Assessor for Lafayette Parish Assessor. What we have here is 3 appeals, 3 properties, all next door to one another. They're all 3 vacant land properties.
Right now, let's just stick with Carol James Doucette.
Sure.
I mean, I realize there's some crossover, but
Okay.
I think it'd be better to keep them separate.
Okay. The property at 104 South Ridgeway Drive, it's part of a large residential area that extends from a commercial corridor of Johnson Street back to the Vermilion River. All of these properties were initially reassessed in the 2016 reassessment. However, during some ratio studies that we did in 2017, we definitely noticed that some land needed to be revisited in 2017. So we reworked the entire market area this past year in 2017 to get our land consistent. Initially, all land on South Ridgeway was reworked at $10 a square foot. After speaking with the property owner, we met as an appraisal department and agreed that we could rework the value at $8 a square foot, which was the lowest reasonable fair market value indicated by the comparable sales. If you look at pages 6, 7, and 8, you'll see our comparables, vacant land sales nearby, all of which are around the $8 per square foot range and higher, and in very close proximity. We are asking that the Louisiana Tax Commission uphold the decision that was made by the Lafayette Parish Board of Review in establishing a fair market value of $116,752 for the property assessment located at 104 South Ridgeway Drive, which would be $8 per square foot.
The property was originally appraised for the reappraisal in 2016 at how much a square foot?
I believe it was right around $6 a square
Around
foot.
$6 a foot? Okay.
Which stood out for the area, which which was one of the reasons why we needed to go back in and make some adjustments in 2017.
And the adjustment was made to $10 a foot, and that was based on, was that based on the January 1st, 2015 valuation date?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The main comparables shown in the report would indicate a lot of values around that $10 per square foot sales value, and even higher.
Okay. And then after speaking to the taxpayer, you said you all must have been before the Board of Review, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir. We had spoke with the taxpayer several times throughout the year. We definitely recognized her concerns. We wanted to make sure we treated her as fair as possible.
Okay.
We revisited and deemed that $8 a square foot would be a fair assessment.
Okay. All right. Let's hear from Mr. Huval.
I did an appraisal on 104 South Ridgeway Drive. I found 3 comps that ranged once an adjustment was made on the comps, and the adjustment was a 10% adjustment due to curb and gutter that the subject property did not have. It had open ditches and no curb and gutter. So it ranged from $6.79 to $9.30, and I took a value of $8 a square foot, and it came up with a value of approximately $117,000 for the land value.
All right. Well, that certainly upholds the value by the Board of Review. So, are there any questions? Motions?
If I'm in line, I would move on docket 17-22055-008 that we uphold the Lafayette Parish Board of Review, set the land value at $116,752.
Second.
Commissioner Bertrand?
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shavar?
Yes. Just give me a second. Next matter on the docket, the appeal of Carol James Doucette versus the Lafayette Parish Board of Review. The docket number 17-22055-00009. Again, the property owner is not present this morning. The property owner did submit letters with regarding these 2 appeals for consideration by the commission, and that will be introduced into the record at the end of today's hearing. Let's go ahead and hear from the assessor's office.
The property at 105 South Ridgeway, again, is a vacant land piece of property currently assessed at $8 per square foot. It's next door to the one we just discussed. The same comparables are used in this report. All nearby vacant land sales. First comp 1 is at $754 per square foot. Comparable 2 is at $1406 a square foot. Comparable 3 at $2214 a square foot, and comparable 4 is at $10.33 per square foot. We are requesting that the Louisiana Tax Commission uphold the decision of the Lafayette Parish Board of Review in establishing a fair market value of $141,080 for the property assessment located at 105 South Ridgeway, which again would be at $8 per square foot.
Now, did this property go through the same steps that occurred in the previous appeal where it was on for $6 a foot?
Yes, sir.
Went
Exactly.
on, reviewed for 2017 at $10 and then settled upon a value of $8 a foot?
Yes, sir. The
Okay.
entire street of South Ridgeway was initially reworked at $10 per square foot. After further review, we deemed that $8 would be reasonable, and we reworked all properties on South Ridgeway at $8 per square
Okay.
foot.
And that was based on values as of January 1, 2015?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Mr. Huval?
Yes, sir. I did an appraisal of 105 South Ridgeway Drive using the same comps as 104 and taking that 10% adjustment again. Came up with a value of $8 a square foot, which indicates $141,000 for the vacant land.
All right, and Once again, the staff value appraisal, independent appraisal upholds the value of the Board of Review. So again, we'll accept I'll accept the motion. Unless there's questions, I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion. With respect to the appeal of Carroll James Doucette versus Lafayette Parish Board of Review, docket number 17-22055-009. The motion is to uphold the Parish Board of Review valuation on land of $141,080.
Second.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Yes.
Chairman Shabbat?
Yes. Next item on the appeal agenda is the appeal of Linda Doucette Vial versus the Lafayette Parish Board of Review, docket number 17-22055-010. Again, this is a taxpayer appeal. Taxpayer did send us a letter about the property or regarding the property, which will be made part of the record at the conclusion of today's hearing. So with that said, I'll ask the assessor's office to make its presentation.
Okay. Property is vacant land located at 106 South Ridgeway. It's being assessed at $8 per square foot. Comparable land sales around the lien date of January 1st, 2015, our target reassessment value lien date indicates that supports that decision. We are requesting that the Louisiana Tax Commission uphold the decision of the Lafayette Parish Board of Review in establishing a fair market value of $116,752 for the property assessment located at 106 South Ridgeway. Again, the comparable land sales used are on page 6, 7, and 8 of our report.
And again, this is the same exercise in the previous two appeals.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Huval?
I did appraisal on 106 South Ridgeway Drive using same comps as the two appeals that were just heard. After the deduction of the 10%, came up with a range of $2.79 to $9.30. Came up with a value of $8 a square foot, and the indicated land value for the subject property is $117,000 approximately.
All right. Are there any questions? We have a motion. Certainly the value that the independent staff appraisal supports the value determination by the Board of Review.
I have a motion.
Yes.
In the matter of docket number 17-22055-010, appeal of Linda Doucette Bell versus Lafayette Parish Board of Review, I move that we uphold the Parish Board of Review land value of $116,752.
Second.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shabbat?
Yes.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The remaining matters on the appeal docket this morning have either been settled or continued to another date. So we will, that will conclude the appeal docket for today. The next items on the agenda is consideration of change orders.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 995 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests that we approve 972 and place 23 under pending status.
Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept the staff consideration of change orders and approve 972 and place 23 on pending.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagasback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. We'll now consider tax sale cancellations.
Tanisha Malvo, again, on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today, we have a total of 16 tax sale cancellations. We have 15 from the parish of St. Tammany, and the reason for all 15 are due to lack of notification. And we have one from St. Mary Parish, and the reason being that the sale was not recognized in their records. Staff asks for approval of these tax sale cancellations.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 16 tax sale cancellations as recommended by staff.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagensback,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. There being no other matters to come before the commission at this time, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagensback,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes.